Hello everyone, Caldera here again, bringing you another BoLS Academy video. Like I said last week, this one is going to be over assaulting into ruins. First things first, something you and your opponents have to keep in mind at the beginning of the game when you're discussing terrain and how everything is going to work out. When it comes to the ruins, you and your opponent have to decide, are these ruins impassable or can you go through them? Most players play it how I've seen it, and the way we play it here, is that it's assumed that all troopers and people in your army have, like it says in the book, blow torches or bombs or whatever they need to cut through solid walls and whatnot. But if you guys decide that you can't go through ruins unless there's a door, or like in this case going up and down, if there's ladders on it, like this one doesn't have one, but say if you have some that do, you could say that the only place to go up and down ruins is via the ladders. Then you can play it that way. It's really just up to you and your opponent, as long as you're consistent throughout the game and you just choose on how you're going to do it. But like I said, most people pick, that you can go through a ruined wall, as long as you make the difficult terrain test. So as far as assaulting, it can kind of get tricky in situations like this when there's multi-tiered ruins and there's not really any place for me to move these witches into contact with these guys up there. So what the book tells you to do is kind of think abstractly. Move everybody into base contact. So like say if the closest guy is this guy over here on the other side, and I make my difficult terrain test, and then I move up to the wall, and we say he's in base to base with the closest guy, which is this guy right here. And then you follow the normal assault rules like you would, moving somebody else that's to an unengaged model and ending within 2 inches of the last model that moved. So in this case, that would be one of these two guys up here on the second floor. Well, there's no actual space to fit a guy up there, to physically fit one of my models up there. Like there's no space here. So what you do in this instance is you move as close as possible to those models, and you say that they're in combat. And now, to be like you are within coherency in a ruin, as long as you're within an inch from the top of the head of the model on the bottom floor and the bottom of the model above it, or I guess it's 2 inches, then that's considered coherency, and in this case considered base-to-base contact. So I move everybody over here, and you kind of just have to play with it and just, get creative and just say that all these guys are in contact. And I move these over here into base-to-base with the ruin. And then from this point, it's assumed that everybody moves in on the pile-in move to defenders react, that they move in, these guys are on base. This person could be said that they're in base with the person on the floor on the bottom over there. And then you can move these guys down however many you can fit from the top floor when defenders react and say that these guys are in base too. And then this guy comes down here, and these guys are all within 2 inches of the guys on the second floor from the third floor, and then they're supporting their attacks. They're like, the floater guys that aren't in base contact with anybody, but they're in range to land their attacks anyway. The only sticky part here would be independent characters, and that you and your opponent just have to agree who is in base contact with that person. If you have to, you can move this guy all the way down to the bottom floor if it's easier for you and your opponent. That's pretty much it. Just follow the normal assault rules, and you and your opponent just have a little bit of leeway because these rules, it's hard to put those models in those situations. But yeah, like the book says on page 85, ruins and assaults, just have a little bit of creativity and have a good time. Alright, see you guys next week.